Another thing that I wanted to talk about was Megaman Zero's life system, or just life systems in general in video games. So, I know the general consensus. Did I pass the place I'm supposed to go to? No, I didn't. Yes, I did. So the general consensus in video games is that life systems are outdated. They are a relic of the past, something that was used in the arcade era to basically con money out of young kids by making their games extra hard, making them, spend more coins, yada, yada, yada. And so, not slowly but surely, they have been going the way of the dodo. You don't see too many games with live systems anymore. However, actually, let me walk that back. And for a period of time, I was a person who thought that, live systems, they don't have to be a thing. They add a bit, they add very few in the games that they're a part of, but they're not necessarily something that is necessary, I guess, for a lack of a better term. And then, I booted up Megaman Zero recently. Now, to give context to this, I've been playing the Mega Man X series again throughout the weekends just to, have a good time. And something that's bothered me about the Mega Man X series is that it's a little too easy unless you're talking about Mega Man X6, in which case that's a little bit too unfair. But they're just very easy to get down whatever it is you need to do and to beat the Mavericks and beat Sigma and blah blah blah. He says that knowing that he died too many times in X4 to Sigma's final form, but whatever. That's a story for another day. Anyways, because of this, I really was itching for a more challenging Mega Man, and that's when I got brought back again to the Mega Man Zero series. Now, this is not my journey through Mega Man Zero recently was not my first time through Mega Man Zero. In fact, this was about my third, if my save file is to be trusted. And with that in mind, whatchamacallit, back then, because I played, so to give context to this too, is that Mega Man Zero is the Mega Man game. It's the Mega Man game of Mega Man games. It is explicitly designed to be difficult, and just to test the player's skill in every conceivable form you can imagine. Basically, everything that you had interacted with in Mega Man Zero is Mega Man X is probably going to be apparent in Mega Man Zero and be amped up to a 10, and is something that you're just going to have to master in order to beat the game. Now, in the PS4 version of Mega Man Zero, it comes with a checkpoint system that you can toggle on and off. And it's mostly to stop the player from tearing their hair out, because Mega Man Zero 1 is really, really, really difficult. It's not a very forgiving game. You gotta go into it knowing that you're at some point you're just gonna get got. And you're gonna get got because either you're brand new to it or you just didn't take the game seriously. So now that you have all that context, this is my third time playing Mega Man Zero. And so I wanted to see if I can beat Mega Man Zero in the way it was initially intended, in terms of, what's what I'm looking for, in terms of its life system, rather than using the checkpoint system as a crutch to get me through the game. And I realized something as I basically closed in on the final boss, was that in going through Mega Man Zero with the live system, I gained a much greater appreciation for the game than I used to have with it in the checkpoint system. Playing the live system, it forced me to learn the strategies of the game. It forced me to learn the boss fights, and just take a lot more caution to the game. So I say this also as someone who used to watch a lot of S-rank Mega Man Zero playthroughs, and I, when you see someone do one of those playthroughs, at least in my mind, the thing that happens to me is that I immediately want to do, I want to perform on that exact same level, but the thought never really occurred to me that playing Megaman Zero on that kind of level is extremely difficult, given the fact that it's specifically categorized in some instances as no-hit run. Well, yeah, just that, no-hit run. It is... Look, long story short, it's just not easy to play Mega Man Zero just focusing solely on ranks and things of that nature. It is a dedication in and of itself to just try and beat the game. Oh, I got hit. Dedication in and of itself just to beat the game, and now adding in, you know, perfect S rank runs, no hit, and things of that nature is just adding a layer of unnecessary, what's the word I'm looking for? Tension, thank you. Unnecessary tension into the mix. And so in just letting that go, letting a perfect run go, and just being able to enjoy the game for what it is, and, you know, seeing just how the game was designed, what my mentality, no, not my mentality, but what the devs' mentality was when they shipped this game out, and how exactly they wanted the players to interact with it, has been a very interesting thing to see unfold. Because now, well, granted, I was only able to see this unfold because admittedly the checkpoint system existed. And even though I gained a lot from the checkpoint system, I definitely found myself slamming my head into the wall a lot more often than I would if I, you know, had the life system. And, let's see if I can put this into words. Basically, the checkpoint system allowed me to play without consequence, and I acted like I was playing without consequence. And that didn't lead for a very interesting design. If anything, it got me to feel less interested in the game as a whole, if that makes any sense. And in playing with the live system and in, you know, trying to test and see if I could make something with the skills that I have recently obtained by being able to beat, well, most of the X series except for X7, because how do you say, I just ended up appreciating the game way more than I initially did when I first beat it, and even when I beat it all those times before. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I don't think I can explain myself any better than that. I just, you know, I find that there's something to a live system. Something that it was severely missing to when I had first played Mega Man Zero, and even in my other playthroughs of the game. It was intense. It was exciting. It was very interesting to, you know, inspect this game, to see all that it had, and to see if it truly was an unfair game or something that was actually really well designed that I couldn't appreciate because my skill level wasn't high enough. I hope that made sense. Boy, I just talked there. Yeah, by the way, a Naruto game is in the background here. Ah, man.